like to call the Baldwin City Council meeting for March 11th to order. If you would rise and join me in the invocation of the pledge. Father God, thank you for this absolutely spectacular day, for the beautiful flowers that are around us, for the kindnesses that we're showing to each other in this new season of spring. May your grace be upon us tonight as we make difficult and informed decisions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first item that we have tonight is our consent agenda. It is approval of the minutes, City Council meeting 2/26/24, work session 3/5/24, and special called meeting 3/5/24. Has everybody had an opportunity to see the minutes? Yes. Any comments, corrections, or concerns? No, there being none, could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Venter. Can I have a second?
Second.
Can I have a second? I have a second from Councilwoman Davis. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstentions? Consent agenda passes. I'm sorry, I forgot to amend the agenda. I need to amend the agenda this evening. Could I have a motion to amend the agenda for executive session for personnel? We would like to not have Bubba, should we take those separately? Or just change it?
Is there going to be an executive session, but
There
on something
is,
else?
but for something else.
Just a single motion to change
Single
the
motion is
purpose.
fine. Could I have a motion to amend the agenda, executive session, replacing personnel for land acquisition and disposal?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Venter. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Councilman Satterfield. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Motion passes. Thank you. So we're changing executive session to land acquisition and disposal. Okay. The next item on the agenda is public comments. This used to be for citizens of Baldwin, but if there's somebody having business before the council, if you would come to the podium, state your name and your address, and address council.
All right, I guess I'll be first. My name's Lek Oberacker, and I live on Moss Mill Road, or Drive, I'm sorry, Dirt Road, in 175 Moss Mill Drive. And so I've been a taxpayer for y'all guys, or actually getting water from the city of Baldwin for 25 years. And I just want to give you a little history that what's happened to me. Happened to my family. I got 4 children, all grown up now, up to 25 years. So when I first came here, I went and bought my water meter, $500 back then. So I wrote a little check. People all wrote checks back then. Wrote that check and handed it to the lady. I waited, I don't know, not too long, 2 or 3 weeks, and said, hey, I got the guy out like Scott. I know Scott, he's a great guy. He came out and he said, we can't put you on here. This water line is terrible. And I said, you're kidding me. So I went back, called my bank. They said, that check is cashed. So I came back here and I said, hey, you gave me the check. You cashed my check. I need the water. So after many of these council meetings, they gave me the water. Water's not half bad. The pressure's okay. It's low. We've had numerous issues, probably about 3 times a year. Is that adequate? Or more. There's an issue out of water. As my kids was growing up, 4 children in the house. I had to do something. I had to put water tanks out, and everybody on there sharing water with each other. Jacuzzi, taking a bath, and we suffered for 25 years. 25 years, and the promise from Baldwin was we're going to upgrade it. 1 year, we had a commitment from Banks County to buy it. But for whatever reason, the council denied Banks County. We had the commissioner from Banks County right here and said, hey, give us that water line. But at the time, they wanted money to take it from y'all guys, take it from the city of Baldwin. All y'all, the faces are new, it's nothing that you did to us. But the city of Baldwin is continuing to put the screws to us, 25 years. So I just a random price, $50, 25 locations, 25 years, that's $500,000. So my question is, where did the money go? There's been a survey done, engineering, to get it done. You must spent the money on it. So I just like something to be done. I got a son wanting to build a house, a friend and his son, another lady that's not here yet. She's a little late and built a new house. Banks County gave her the building permit. They was gonna put a meter in. Scott had to turn her down. And they're beside themselves. Spending that kind of money and probably done got the loan without $16,000 for a well. So I always want to know, what can we do to move forward with getting us some better water pressure? Scott's got the resources, he knows what to do, he just needs some money. And I know the state has gave money to the county to upgrade, because I see the water lines putting in down here, off and on through the years. So what is it gonna take? And I know we've been on a long list of projects and, getting denied. So, my family,
I'm sorry, I'll wait till you're through.
okay, no, go ahead.
We're all new here. So, from when this project began, or the problem began, you just quoted some numbers to me, and I wasn't really sure what those were. Can you run through them again,
Yeah,
please?
there's 25 houses roughly on that thing, is that about right?
That's pretty close.
Yeah, and every month, we're paying now, what, $70 a month? They probably don't know, they don't pay
For your,
bills.
for your water bill?
Yeah, for the
Okay.
water bill.
I gotcha.
And then 25, just do simple math, a month, over 25 years, that's right out of $500,000. Which in my mind is a lot of money, but I know city, you gotta get a contract. Back then, it would've been way cheaper to do it then. So my question is, do y'all guys, does the city got an appetite to help us and push us over the line? Cause if you wait another 20 years, guess what it's gonna cost to put it in then?
We're familiar with the cost increases, because at some point in our past, I think that was 2012, we had a CIP list done. Correct me if am I right? Yeah, 2012. Actually had grants approved, we had funding approved through GIFA, I think, was that right? And the council at the time said, we don't need it. Lost all that money.
They turned down money
Yeah.
to upgrade the system.
Yes, and so so at that point, it was only just a few $1 million to fix all our problems, and now we're looking at 30 million instead. And so I'm longest on the council, with 7 years, and with all of the retreats that we go to, and we're working on and we have been working on it. It is something that keeps us up at night and has given me a little more gray hair in the last 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This guy's, you probably get another few years out of him if you stop getting them calls on Saturday and Sunday nights.
Yeah, for sure.
And my wife is no fun phone call, I can tell you that.
I would be
I
that
don't
one
wanna
too.
call her
Yeah,
now.
and bless Scott, Scott and our engineer, with every retreat they come to us, we are struggling. So it's definitely something that's on the mountain system, yeah.
But for every grant that comes out, because the project to improve the south side water system, this area, is on that CIP, we go after funding every time it's available.
Mhm.
We don't get it.
Yeah.
But it is on the list, it's on the applications that we put out to
Yeah.
all of the grants from the state and the federal level.
I did reach out to our state legislators. Still need to get with Mr. Irwin, and Councilman Satterfield has started a good relationship with Mr. Irwin. These are the people that we need to be talking to, but when we go to them, we have to have an updated CIP list. Last year, we did ask our engineering firm to update our CIP list, so we've got that in our grubby little paws now. And now it's time to go knocking on our state legislators' doors and saying, you guys, the state is pushing for better water infrastructure anyway. So you gotta put your money where your mouth is, please.
Yeah. Well, what about this idea? I understand all the, we're presenting it, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm a businessman too, and I know how it goes. When you got a car that's you're just tearing the guy up, rebuilding it, putting a motor in it, transmission in it, and all that, you say, damn, I need to get the lemon law out and get rid of this damn thing. hey, get rid of it to Banks County. Are y'all willing to talk with Banks County? It's gonna take them the same money, not 30. They're telling me $1.2 million to do it. They looked at it here the other day.
To do what?
Huh?
To do what?
To just give the lines to them. Don't put a for sale sign on it. Just say, look, we're tired of it. Give it to them. I pay taxes in Banks County.
That we pay them 1.2 million?
It's gonna take them 1.2 million to put a new water line in from the reservoir that's right there by the house, urban store, down.
Did you talk to the commissioners?
Yeah, Bo Garrison, he's looking into it. We got another guy looking into it. They know it. They've been here before. And, just like I say, get rid of it. If there's willing, can anybody tell me why you wouldn't get rid of it?
That is definitely something we'll have to have some in-depth conversation about, but that's not off the table, I would
I
imagine.
wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know what kind of reporting he's gotta do or what y'all get. But if you figure up how much them guys spend on nights and overtime and equipment,
Oh, yeah.
it's
oh, yeah.
buckets of money.
Oh, they yell at us constantly. Yeah. You know.
So that's what, all I'm here for is just to say, let's move forward. And, we're gonna have to talk about it, cause we're gonna be back.
Yeah.
Cause these guys, no one wants to put in a $16,000 well, and you got city water right there.
Are these gentlemen also homeowners on the road?
I'm
He is.
building,
You're
trying to
building?
building a home.
Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
He-
Well, we're obviously not gonna solve anything tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, will you
We just
give us-
want your ears.
Oh, you
Y'all,
got it.
all of y'all
Yeah.
ears.
You have them,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
We have a monthly water group that meets, that talks about water and sewer issues. The mountain system has been at the top of the list for a long time. And you know what Scott and the guys do down there, and we know how you're suffering.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of grace?
Oh,
and get
yeah,
back
yeah,
to-
we've been waiting 25 years, so we got it. Yeah. But, we
That's
got
right.
the guys, our guy is Bo Garrison. I don't know if y'all know him.
Yes, I know that.
So just get in touch with him.
Yeah.
And, right now they're saying that's a lot of money. But, just a little water bill that I gripe $500,000, we're giving way more to Banks County.
Yeah.
And it's steadily going up. And that reservoir didn't cost a lot more than millions and millions of dollars. And we helped pay for it, and it's just sitting there, can't get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So, all right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
We appreciate it when citizens.
Nick, you
come
want to say
forward.
anything real quick?
You covered it pretty good.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Butcher.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all have a good
Have a good night.
And do we have a way to
We do. Take care.
Scott does?
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
we
yeah,
can do
they were.
that. Thank you.
Okay, moving on, there are no public hearings for tonight. No reports from staff are listed. Under old business, we have consideration approval, second reading of the Baldwin Court apartment variance. Ms. Woodmaster, is there anything you'd like, you gotta lead us through this? Sure.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Switch this over. I wound up knocking it over. Don't do that. All right. So the request before you tonight is for a variance for the Baldwin Court Apartments. They are requesting 10 units to be added to their development. They currently have 44 on a 4-acre lot. As we've discussed in the past at the work session, the public hearing, and the last council meeting, this project, it was originally designed to take on additional apartments. In between the time that they had the means and the ability to do that, we did change our zoning ordinance from what was allowed at the time, which I believe was 12 units per acre. 11 units per acre, somewhere in there. I think it might be 11 per acre, and it was reduced down to our current zoning ordinance, which is only 8 units per acre. So they are requesting a 10-unit variance for the Baldwin Court Apartments. They are accommodating our parking lot requirement. This, when it came before the council last year, they did not have enough parking, and there was a 1.5 parking spaces per unit when it was proposed at 24 units. Well, this time it's 3 units per unit. and they're 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartments. Any questions about that?
I think all the questions I had were answered last week. Only question I have at this point, any concerns from staff on this?
The only concern that was voiced was from police, and it's just an increase in population does lead to potential increase in call volume, which is something that we have to be aware of. We do monitor that annually, and go through what our budget needs are during the budget cycle, which we will be coming before council with budget considerations in a month. So
When do they want the apartments to be open?
he did not get a timeline. I do not know, but I can find out.
In the, police part, we know we've got work coming anyway, that we're gonna have to accommodate. It won't be just that tips it over, it's everything else
Right.
is coming
It's
as well,
combined.
so, yeah.
Anybody else? Are we ready to take a vote? Yes. Yeah, I have a motion to approve the second reading of the Baldwin Court Apartment Variance Ordinance number 2024-02139Z as presented.
So moved.
I have dueling motions. Was that Councilman Venter?
Hey, go ahead.
All right, I'll take that one from a motion from Councilman Venter. I need a second, please.
Second.
A second from Mr. Satterfield. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right,
Right.
thank you. All right, the second item under old business is approval of the downtown city park power installation. Ms. Woodmaster,
Yes.
still up there, please.
Yes.
I will do it. It is contrary to what we said at our work session last week. It is not like.
Not like
Not like
power.
I still can't believe I said that. And we went with it for
Yeah,
a
we
solid
wrote it
month.
that way too.
Power at Downtown City Park. In your packet, page 19, is the request to add power to the Downtown City Park. This is the only thing really missing from the completion of the project. The project in itself with the current contractor is complete. We did want to add power out there for the events that we host, as well as having the ability to allow other agencies, nonprofits utilize that space, like Baldwin Baptist, and having power out there is definitely an asset for us and them. So the proposal before you tonight is for $31,800, and that is to add all of the power necessary. Again, we talked about this last week, but for those who haven't heard, this is going to allow for food trucks to be able to hook up to power and not need a generator, which is definitely a win. But also to add additional vendors that may or may not need power capability. There was a couple fall festivals ago.
Yeah.
We had like 3 or 4 shortages at different
rough.
points, and so navigating that was a challenge, and we want to eliminate that for the future. Last week we did discuss the funding coming from SPLOST 6. This is an old SPLOST. We are currently in Habersham County SPLOST 7. These funds are available with the consideration or the understanding that the council had in the past restricted $34,000 for a GFA grant match for a fire truck. Last year, this council decided not to pursue that grant any longer, to focus our efforts elsewhere, like on the SAFER grant and adding to our fire department. And so we did stop applying for that, which also means that money needs to be unrestricted so that we can allocate it to another capital project. That amount is, I believe it's in your packet. Did we put it on the end?
It was the last one.
34,865.
Yeah.
So that amount will need to be unrestricted in order to pay for the power at Downtown City Park. The total cost is $31,800. Without the unrestricted funds, after fine-tooth combing that, I did tell you that the numbers were preliminary last week. It is only a $400 difference from what we need and what's available. But either way, we do need to unrestrict that money so that we can allocate that money to a future project. Do we have the SPLOST numbers? don't see them. Okay.
I handed them out to them.
Perfect. I don't have mine. That's
Do you want to borrow mine?
no.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. I just didn't bring them up here. So you'll see that the SPLOST 6 account, we did have the referendum called for roads and bridges, public safety, and capital outlay. The capital outlay included the downtown city park, some improvements to the farmers market, a chipper truck, I believe, the signage at City Hall, the
Electronic signs?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's another word for that. I was trying to think of it. Aaron and I have been going over the sign ordinance.
Animated.
Animated signs.
Digital signs.
Something like that. I was gonna say
Something fancy.
It's fine. So,
Under 2,000.
Sure. So that was also included in this SPLOST. We do have available just over $65,000 is in that account. There's nothing left to be done on any of these projects. They're all completed, which is why we're recommending that the power be completed from this SPLOST. I almost called it park account. The SPLOST. And it is a part of the Downtown City Park project, which was a major part of this SPLOST. So you'll see towards the bottom of that chart that once the Downtown City Park is complete, there's $65,800 remaining. With the unrestriction of the $34,864 from the grant, you do have a remaining $34,000 that has to be expensed. And we've been mulling around many ideas of what we could do. There are future projects that we have on our SPLOST 7 list. We did talk last week about the pavilion repair at Mitchell Gailey, or a new pavilion at the farmers market. We do have, I was talking to Scott this evening about the benches and lighting around the Mitchell Gailey walking trail. That's a part of Habersham SPLOST 7. So we could move it into this SPLOST and complete that project out. We could also do something else. It is a decision up to the council.
We get the train spotting platform?
We could add that.
Yeah.
Alright, so our first motion tonight is to see if council wishes to unrestrict.
That's correct.
The funds before we can see if council wishes to.
That's
approve
correct.
The project, okay. Any more questions from Ms. Woodmaster? Can I have a motion to unrestrict the SPLOST 6 funds previously restricted by council for the FEMA grant match for a fire truck in the amount of $34,865?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilman Venter. Do I have a second?
A second.
And a second from Councilman Keith. All those in favor? Any opposition? Abstentions? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Okay, so we have the money unrestricted now. All right, can I have a motion to approve the commitment of SPLOST 6 funds to the power installation in Downtown City Park in the amount of $31,800 as presented?
So moved.
And a motion from Councilman Satterfield. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Councilwoman Venter. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Good work. Well, we're finally getting that part done.
Yeah.
Man, right?
That's been
Yeah.
a project.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Ms. Woodmaster, it's still you. New business. All right, consideration approval of a nepotism policy amendment. Can you lead us through this?
Yes, so there are two options in your packet tonight. There is, on page 21, there is a policy waiver for a firefighter, and then on page 22 and 23 is the amendment to the policy. As you all are aware, just a few short months ago, we waived this policy for Hayden Benfield, who is the son of our assistant chief in the fire department. He was a part-time employee, and we did exact the waiver for that earlier in the year. We moved him to full-time this past fall. And the line of work, it's really hard to find qualified firefighters who are already certified, which is one of the requirements that we have, being the small department that we are. Sending somebody to the academy is costly. And so one of the requirements that we have to hire a firefighter is that they've already gone through that training and are certified. It's really hard to find someone qualified to do that job. So there has, in the past, we've done this twice, technically 3 times, from the part-time to the full-time waiver for the fire department, just because we couldn't hire anyone else. And there is a clause in our current policy manual that allows the city council to waive the nepotism clause, should we need it for a critical need, which I believe our fire department is a critical need, and you guys have you've honored that decision these last 2 times. Well, the last time we did it, one of the questions that came up from this council was, how many times are we going to waive the rule? Or maybe we shouldn't have a rule. And so I did want to present a second option to you, which would allow us to amend the policy. So if you'll flip over to page 22, you'll see that the current requirement for the nepotism, or our current nepotism policy, states that relatives of employees may be employed within the City of Baldwin government. However, relatives of employees cannot be employed within the same department or within a department providing services, supervision, or control citywide, including Human Resource Office, City Clerk's Office, Accounts Payable, and the Finance Department. I am not proposing that we change any of that. I do believe that should remain the same. I do not believe that any position that interacts with every single department should have a relative working there. The second clause is just the definition of a relative, and you'll see just below that the note that says the city council shall have the right to waive the provision of the nepotism section in situations involving rare and critical skills, which we have done so for the fire department. So my proposal for the amendment to this nepotism policy would be it would still remain the same, that no relatives of employees cannot be employed within a department providing services, supervision, or control citywide, including the Human Resource Office, City Clerk's Office, Accounts Payable, and Finance. Additionally, relatives of employees cannot be employed within the same department, with the exception of the non-civilian employee classified departments, those being fire, police, and water treatment. Those non-civilian employees with relatives working within the same department require formal chain of command procedures documented and approved by the department head and the CEO, and eliminating the waiver requirement. This would allow, for example, in the fire department, for a father and son, father and daughter, mother and son, mother and daughter to work in the fire department so long as there is proper chain of command. As you all know, we have 4 shifts in our fire department. And it is easy to segregate the family from the organizational chart of the fire department. So, for example, the fire chief's son works for the fire department. If there's any issues, whether it be an issue between 2 firefighters, or there's a reprimand necessary or coaching necessary, that goes directly to the assistant chief, and it does not follow the chain of command up to the fire chief. If there is an issue between the assistant fire chief and the employee, that comes directly to me. There is no interaction with the fire chief. It is the same situation for the assistant fire chief's son, who also works for our department. In the event that there is any issues, any need for a reprimand, or any conversations pertaining to their employment, that conversation goes directly to the chief, not to the assistant chief. And if there's an issue with the chief and the employee, it comes directly to me. So the assistant chief remains neutral. In this instance, the employee that we are looking to hire is the son of just another firefighter. He is not a part of the rank and file. He is just a firefighter. And should the father obtain a higher status, lieutenant, captain, or assistant chief one day, there is still the ability to separate that because of the 4 shifts. So they can be the commanding officer with a firefighter on a different shift. The requirement of this policy the change in this policy would require that it be documented what that chain of command looks like, and it's adhered to. We have not had any issues in the past with the two that are currently employed with the fire department. I cannot speak for the future of what could happen, but we have found that this has worked well so far. So there's two options. You can change the policy, and we'll have the chain of command conversation with the department head, or you can issue another policy waiver, or you can do neither. That is an option too.
We've been working on getting the policy straight, for a while. And I don't see why wouldn't be a good opportunity for us to iron out this little piece that comes up every couple of years. Any concerns from council or staff about changing the policy?
It's just a policy decision, no
Right.
no legal.
Mostly worried about the nepotism side of things, but yeah.
I will say we did have the position posted for over 3 weeks, and there was 3 applicants, and this is the only one that is certified and ready to start day one.
Yeah.
And we need them. Like, we need somebody to fill the role.
Yes. We're thankful to have the role there, and that was a challenge all on its own. It was a challenge. Now, it's like, okay, we got them, let's get them in here.
Yeah. We're really close to 4 men per shift. It is a work in progress, but we're really close. We're hoping that this next.
And keep in mind, yeah, it really is exciting. And keep in mind, historically, fire and police have kind of, families, just like doctors and lawyers, have the families they follow in those footsteps.
The family
it
game.
is, yeah. So it's not like that hasn't been a thing for, 200 and however many years. I'm kidding, I'm exaggerating, but yeah, that's it.
And as you discussed this with Top Brass and the fire department, were they comfortable
Yes.
with either of these options?
Yes. Preferably not the third option where it's a no,
Right.
because we need a firefighter. But they're okay either way as long as there's a proper policy in place.
Firefighters don't like to hear the no word.
So it seems like council is comfortable amending the policy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just knock it out so we don't have to keep coming
Let's
back.
go. Can I have a motion to approve the fire department? No. Can I have a motion to approve the nepotism policy amendment as presented?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from Councilman Venter. Can I have a second? Second. I have a second from Councilwoman Davis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have a policy change. For those of us on policy committee, we have a little work to do.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
There's more coming and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to get that. All the housekeeping. All right.
I know. Okay, the next item on our agenda is executive session. So for those folks listening in and in the audience, our custom has become to offer announcements now before we enter executive session. That way, if you want to leave, you can. You've heard the announcements. Are we comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. First announcement for the evening. Homestead exemption affidavits for city property taxes are due April 1st. Please stop by City Hall with your driver's license or other government-issued ID to complete the affidavit. Second announcement, please join us for the 25th Baldwin Cleanup Day on April 20th from 9 to 12 at the Baldwin Farmers Market. Celebrate Earth Day by cleaning up Baldwin roads and planting a tree. Free t-shirt and lunch provided for pre-registered participants. Register with your t-shirt sizes at Baldwin Events at cityofbaldwin.org by April 5th. Are there any announcements from council? Any from staff? I'd like to take a point of order to thank the Northeast Georgian for their best of winners
Oh, yeah.
and highlighting our Baldwin businesses who are all over the best of list. I'm
Love it.
really
Of
excited.
course.
I mean, we've got Dairy Queen, we've got Stew and Q, we got landscaping, we got Sparring Hearts, we got Halsey, we've got Will Banks, we've got A's Auto, we've got at least 14 awards that we won. I may even include 2 more in Anderson Village. We're kind of playing them as kin. So we are all over the best of Habersham. So congratulations, Baldwin. You were looking good in the newspaper this week and every day in our city. So we appreciate that. Okay, can I have a motion to close the regular session and move into executive session for land acquisition and disposal?
So moved.
I have a motion from Councilwoman Benson, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second